Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Nadia White, and I'm a single mother of two amazing daughters, ages 9 and 11. My youngest daughter, Chloe, was born at 27 weeks and diagnosed with cerebral palsy, vision impairment, feeding tube dependency, is wheelchair-bound. She's a joyful little girl that loves music and going over our neighborhood speed bumps. After 2.5 years of searching, we purchased our first home in 2019. Our home is not ADA compliant. My doorways measure 28 inches wide, with the current ADA compliance being 32 inches. Because of this, a simple necessity of the bathroom that you and I could access multiple times a day, my 62-pound daughter is limited to. We, including our nursing team, have to physically lift her in and out daily. Many Floridians face these same challenges like my daughter, and we need your help. I would like to introduce to you my partners and my friends, a networking educator and a veteran, a singing chef diva, and a tell it like it is self-advocate. 4 completely different individuals that were complete strangers 5 months ago. Like many others, we realize we share one common goal. So today, Nicole, Doris, and Kevin will share very important facts and data with the hope of accomplishing a solution that affects an overwhelming population in our state. Caregivers and self-advocates, and many with developmental disabilities, being able to provide the proper ADA accommodations in their homes that we live, laugh, and make lasting memories in. My friends are going to share how an FD C1 total home tax exemption can change that. And I welcome Nicole.
Good morning. My name is Nicole Grabner, and I'm the proud mother of 2 awesomely neurodivergent kiddos. My family and I moved to this state when my husband retired from the military, and we're lucky to find a small home in the rural part of southern Brevard County at the height of COVID. But like a lot of families looking for the Florida dream, we wanted a home that had water views. And come to find out after my youngest was diagnosed with severe autism how dangerous that could be for our children. I would like to speak with you today about how we can help families like mine and others, where my husband and I are the primary caregivers of our 2 children, make home ownership more affordable and allow more money into the pockets of cost-burdened families. The state of Florida is in a housing crisis. Nobody disputes this. The state estimates that over 1,000 new residents arrive daily. The median cost of a single-family home has risen, and insurance rates are sky high. Many Florida caregivers of disabled and adults, of children and adults, report that they spend 50 to 70% of their monthly income on housing costs. 50 to 70%. To further illustrate how dire that point is, consider that the Federal Bureau of Labor and Statistics puts a healthy household spending 20% of their income on housing. So if a family is spending over 40%, they're considered to be in poverty. Families caring for their disabled children are adversely more cost-burdened than others because we have increased expenses, and it's adding to an already overwhelming monthly budget. These families provide a valuable cost savings to the state of Florida by caring for their children in their homes and relieving an overburdened state-run group homes. So what can we do? Currently, when applying for an ad valorem tax exemption on your single-family home, there are 2 statutes that allow for a tax exemption if you are a disabled adult. Our team would like to expand the current definition to allow caregivers to receive the same tax exemption. This exemption could potentially free up to $300 a month for these families, which can go towards medical costs or even home adaptations. How much would it cost? I have an estimate. I took the number of people currently being served by APD, which is the Agency of Persons with Disabilities in the state, including the ones on the pre-enrollment checklist, multiplied that by the number of median home costs in the state, and the total of this goes to less than 1% of Florida's annual tax budget. The Schimberg Center from the University of Florida shows that currently less than a total of 1% already qualify for this exemption. So even if we add these two numbers together, it's still less than 1%. This small step could have huge impacts. Now I would like to introduce our next team member, Kevin, so he can discuss his experiences. Who is Kevin Jenkins?
That's me. My name is Kevin Jenkins, and I am in a powered wheelchair, and I am able to move around in my electric wheelchair.
Where do you live?
I live in the Villages. I've been there 6 years.
Do you work?
Yes, I do. I work at Walmart 20 years.
What problems did you have making your home accessible?
Actually, I had to, when I went to go look at the home, it was not accessible. So I had to get a contractor to make it accessible. That is like doorways and walkways, with the Hoyer lift and with the bathroom.
When you purchased your home, whose name was on the title?
It was actually on my mom. And actually, the title was actually put in my mom's name.
Did you change it to your name?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because the tax savings was lower. Go ahead.
Roughly how much money were you able to save a month?
I was able to save $170 a month.
Excellent. How has this money helped your family?
It has actually helped me with most of my repairs in my house. That's what the Hoyer lift, the bathrooms, and the doorways, and on my chair.
That's great. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Kevin?
I would like to see more families that are in that they would help people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Nicole, Nadia. So my name is Doris Tellado. I'm the proud mother of Gabriel and Alejandro. Gabby is 20 years old, and he was born with a genetic syndrome that is very rare, and he uses a wheelchair for mobility. And he has a tracheostomy. We had to adapt the entire house. For a while, we had a ventilator. And with my husband, we are homeowners, and one of the reasons we purchased a home was exactly because renting for someone who has a child with a disability is almost impossible. Early in the process, because disability don't start at 18, and we know many of the services and benefits for housing are for adults who happen to be a homeowner, so it's quite complex. And we had to look for a house and make changes. He was on a ventilator. We had to change electricity. We have to build ramps. And soon we realized we needed a bathroom, similar to what Nadia was telling us and Kevin was telling us. So full modifications before the age of 3. And this is important because like in my case, families are doing this wonderful work of providing quality, caring, loving care for their loved ones, starting at birth. So it's not later in life, and not only later in life. And we are a group of families that are doing this, like we mentioned, with with a lot of stress, in many cases, very stressful situation. But we are preventing institutionalization. That's super important. We are keeping our children and adults in our communities. My neighbors know Gabby. They can stop at my house and ask, how's Gabby doing? He's a
person beyond his disability. And that's absolutely imperative to remember that we are contributing. I always say my son is an industry. He provides jobs. He provides all this to his community that is saving the state of Florida thousands of dollars every year. We are also preventing hospitalization. I want to say the care that we provide is so good that prevents going to the hospital every other month. We are also providing something when we become a homeowner. Our community is a community that tend to be under poverty level. We know that with disability. What happens is when we purchase our home, we started building equity and that generational wealth that can help my son later in life here in the state of Florida to have funding to help with his care, to help his brother when we are not around to have appropriate care. So those are all those benefits. And so let's think about what families get if they get this full tax exemption for everyone who has a developmental disability, including those who are living with their caregivers. We can, like we saw with Kevin, we can save in monthly payments, in taxes, in those mortgage. We can get that money to make improvements in our homes. I have a Hoyer lift that needs to be checked. It's $250 every time the guy goes there to fix it. And I need to buy a sling that is $300. Those things add up, and we can use that money for that purpose. And let's go a little bit further. Let's use that money and put it in an ABLE account, thinking in the future. Let's put it in a savings account, a trust fund for special needs, to make sure that when I am not around, my son, who will be helping his brother, will have enough funding. Even more, I can even put that money in a retirement fund to help me not becoming another person with a disability as an older citizen in Florida who will need services. So all this adds wealth. Just to give you an idea, I bought my house before the financial crisis of 2009. My house is 100% equity over the price that I paid. I was very lucky. It's a small house in a very humble neighborhood, and we love each other. But right now, I'm having that much already in a legacy for my children. So saying that, it's important that we honor all this wonderful work families have been doing with just one thing that doesn't take a lot of money. It's just less than 1% from that tax revenue in Florida. We can create wealth, we can help families, we can support them with immediate needs, and we can do that without taking too much out of our pocket. So I invite you to support us, to provide all families who have children and adults, regardless of the age, who have a developmental delay and a developmental disability, a full tax, home tax exemption. Thank you for your time.